probably been there, at the hairdresser's, in the doctor's waiting room, or at a family Christmas dinner. The small talk starts off friendly, we talk about the weather, and then someone drops the classic line. Have you noticed how cold it's been lately? And yet all this talk about global warming. The issue, however, is far more serious than just casual chatter.
You don't know whether or not that would have happened with or without man. You don't know.
Well, you're scientists at NOAA
we have
and NASA.
Scientists that disagree with that.
Let's be clear from the start. The question is not whether or not climate change exists. The scientific consensus that global warming has an anthropogenic cause currently stands at 99%. This was already shown in a 2021 study which reviewed over 88,000 academic papers. And yet apparently that's still not enough for some skeptics and deniers. So despite the overwhelming consensus, why do some people still not believe in climate change?
Because there's billions of dollars being spent to undermine the scientific consensus. All the oil companies are spending a lot of money on lobbying Congress in the United States. They are funding think tanks that are spreading disinformation about climate change. It's happening in Europe, it's happening in the US. So for the public, if they feel there is a debate going on, then they tune out and they say, oh, well, let them sort it out first, don't bother me. Or they feel, well, climate change is a huge, big problem and everybody's asking me to change my behavior, but I don't want to do that.
The thing is, people's opinions about climate change actually aren't just about the climate. They're about identity, values, community, and about how we see the world. Climate information is complex and doesn't fit neatly into a simple narrative. Psychologist Jeremy P. Shapiro points out that many skeptics use dichotomous thinking. That black or white thinking which helps simplify everyday life, but which fails when it comes to understanding complex systems like our planet's climate. For some, denial stems from economic interests, or just simple disinterest. But for others, it's about avoiding the mental load of grappling with uncertainty and nuance.
One of the things we know that is a positive factor is perception of the scientific consensus. When people are told, the fact that 97 out of 100 climate scientists at least agree on the fundamentals, that shifts their attitudes and makes them more likely to accept climate science and also to support climate mitigation.
But here's the thing, whether it's on TV debates, in social media threads, or back at that Christmas dinner, we've all witnessed it. Sometimes all the data in the world is not enough to convince someone. And sometimes it can even make things worse. That's why some psychologists say that arguing with hardcore deniers can backfire. It just reinforces their defensive bubble and gets everybody frustrated. So, should we just stop engaging with skeptics altogether? Well, it depends. It's usually more productive to talk with people who are uncertain, rather than those who are fully entrenched in denial.
I think it's very important to talk to people who are less than fully committed. I also think it's really important to talk to people who actually accept the science to strengthen their attitudes, because one of the big problems in all of this is that the deniers have created this appearance of a scientific debate. And even people who understand and accept the science will be affected by that. Teaching people who are already on board that there are people out there trying to mislead them, trying to undermine their attitudes, I think that's actually very important.
According to Bella Zanin, Knowledge Exchange Associate at the University of Bath's Centre for Climate Change and Social Transition, conversations do matter, especially with the people close to us. Social influence is powerful. If talking about climate change with genuine concern and proactive attitudes becomes normalised, then it will help shift social perceptions. But if the norm is to just shrug it off, then collective action is far less likely. This is particularly true with climate agnostics, people who aren't deeply engaged, who aren't outright deniers either. So, what can we actually do to have better conversations? Ones that don't end like a TV shouting match. First thing is to stick to some basic communication rules. 1. Find common ground to build empathy. 2. Avoid confrontation or data overload. 3. Drop the condescending tone, even if you really know your stuff. And 4. Resist the urge to label or mock.
I go back to the consensus messaging. I think that's a really important thing to do, number one. Number two, the other thing is to highlight the existence of solutions, because it's very difficult to get people to accept the existence of a problem when you also tell them it can't be solved, that's going to kill us all. I mean, that is a very hard sell. So I think emphasizing solutions is really important.
If the 99% of scientists dedicated to studying the problem haven't managed to convince deniers, then you probably won't either. But with skeptics or those who are uncertain, then conversation can at least plant a seed of doubt, and that's something. And maybe most importantly, normalizing conversations about climate change, making it part of everyday talk, is already part of the solution.